for inviting me. So a lawyer had a client, the accused, and the lawyer goes to the accused and said, I've got good news and bad news. And the accused said, what's the bad news? He said, well, your blood is all over the crime scene. So the accused goes, what's the good news? Your cholesterol is 130. Have a laugh. Don't be shy. My name is Rupal Vaishnav. As you saw in the video, a 10-year-old boy from Bombay moved here to the United States. Grew up in Riverdale, Georgia. I have a friend here from Riverdale. Went to Riverdale High, and wasn't enough for my parents to just go straight into work or whatever, so they said, you gotta be an engineer or a doctor. Typical stuff. Merit matters. I went to Georgia Tech. I got my mechanical engineering degree. I worked as an engineer for about 2 years, a servant leader heart, where I led student organizations in Georgia Tech. I volunteered in the Olympics, and then I went to law school at Georgia State University College of Law. I've been practicing law for 23 years. Judges don't legislate, we all agree to that. That's the basic common sense. But what sets me apart, I believe, is my experience. And the way I put this to you is very simple. I want you guys to imagine that you guys are about to open a restaurant. And you have some investors who are looking to you to make the right decision to open that restaurant, and you're about to hire a chef. Now you have two chefs who've come to you with their application. One chef has done a dang good job for 20 years, but he only cooks with one recipe. You've got another chef who's done that, but he's done more. He's gone to work for the competitor. He's learned other skills, other traits that are relevant to the restaurant industry. He knows how to work with other recipes. If you were that investor, or if you were that owner, I promise you, you would get the chef that has the most experience for the job that you want to be proud of your restaurant and be proud of that investment. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what this race is about. There's a stark difference in terms of experience between myself and my opponent. I've done prosecution. I started my career as a state court prosecutor. I had a caseload average between 600 and 700 cases a year. I've prosecuted about 1,800, 2,100 cases. State court cases, domestic violence, family violence battery, DUI, criminal trespass, shoplifting. I reached the pinnacle in my office. I moved on to get civil experience. I am the only candidate that actually has civil law experience. I'm the only candidate that has jury trial experience with civil cases. Lawyers will tell you that civil cases require knowledge of the Civil Practice Act. Civil Practice Act is a whole body of law that you have to prosecute, I'd rather do civil cases through. And I have that experience. But I'm also a constitutionalist. I'll give you two good examples because I believe in examples are concrete. Talk is cheap, examples are important. I'm one of the only few lawyers in the state of Georgia who's had the privilege to stop a court system, an unconstitutional court system. I was asked to consult and look at a court system that was a traffic court system that was generating $8 to $10 million a year. That was the busiest traffic court system in the state of Georgia with 200,000 traffic tickets that were going through it. When I looked at it, and I looked at the 1983 Georgia Constitution, and I looked at the local law that established this court system, I came to a conclusion and I said, this court system is illegal. It is unconstitutional. Well, you can imagine the local politics with $8 to $10 million at stake. They fought hard. They said, Rupal, you're crazy. Rupal, you need to not do this. Think of the class action lawsuits if you're right, because we've been prosecuting people in this court system that didn't have the jurisdiction to prosecute that court in those cases. I stood my ground firm and I said, I'm not wavering on my commitment to the Constitution, to the law, because this is an illegal court system. So I stood my ground firm. The county did not relent. I said, you need to get a third party to look at this. They looked at the state legislative council came back, agreed with my conclusion, and abolished the system. That court system is known as the DeKalb County Recorder's Court. If you go now in DeKalb County, you will not see a DeKalb County Recorder's Court. You will see a DeKalb County Traffic Court, State Court Division B. Ladies and gentlemen, my parents instilled values of merit, hard work. I believe in those things. I deliver on those things for myself. I expect those things on my kids. I want to make sure that merit wins over mediocrity, that experience wins over talk. Ladies and gentlemen, I have done the work. I have done civil work. And in my experience as a lawyer for 23 years, I have never heard of a lawyer say they have judicial experience when they haven't been a judge. That's loosey-goosey interpretation of the word judicial. I don't think he meant to mislead anybody, but you could ask any lawyer who's credible would say there's no such thing as judicial experience. There is such thing as actual experience, where I've done civil cases, where I've actually had jury trials, where I fought for a client who was sold a car without a title, and when he went to give that car back, I said, you gotta get that money back, and they would refuse him and took him to court to get that money back. Ladies and gentlemen, that's important. Experience matters. I want you to vote for a judge who has the right experience, who's gonna be tough on crime, who is gonna uphold the Forsyth value. This Indian judge will hold and uphold Forsyth value. I absolutely believe in tough on crime. I'm the first one who said Veterans Court makes sense in this county for our veterans who are criminalized for the wrong reasons and they need help. We're gonna get them that help. I support accountability courts like everybody else. These courts have been set up well before today. And of course I support those courts. But what matters is experience. What matters is commitment to the Constitution. What matters is you're going to know what cases are and not learn on the job. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rupal Vaishnav. I'll be honored to get your vote May 24th as your next state court judge. Thank you very much.